With the release of Corpus Railjack, we now have 9 turret types to choose from in Warframe. With each of these having 3 variants, not counting the basic versions, that's 27 different options for your ship. So what are the best options? I'm the Engineer, let's solve a practical problem. I'm going to go over the weapon options in terms of usability and damage output, to give you the very best options for what you can use, and of course where to farm those ideal turrets. I won't be diving into considerations around damage type, as in my experience they basically don't matter. The same is true for status. There's no condition overload or reliance on slash procs in space, so what can deal the damage and actually apply it is pretty much the entire deal. So starting with ease of use then, the top of the board is the Photor, the Pulsar and the Talon. These are all hit scan lasers, meaning you never have to worry about leading your target, you just point and shoot. However, to make up for this, they give up damage, being the 3 lowest DPS turrets regardless of your setup. In the middle we have the long range projectile weapons, that's the APOC, the Carcinox, Glazio and Vort. All of them have good range, but leading the shots means you will miss more easily, especially when the target changes velocity. At the bottom end for usability, we have the Cryophon and Lathe. These both have short range projectiles, which is especially bad for side gunners who cannot simply reposition to make use of their limited reach. As a special note, the Photor also comes with innate punch through, which can help in shooting objectives that are obscure to all other weapons. However, the variety of battle mods that exist mostly remove the need for such a niche. At this point, the one remaining benefit is against Corpus cruise ships that sport a rotating shield drone, as the Photor can shoot the drone straight through this shield. Now as for damage, this is modified by the house variant for each weapon. Vidar gives higher base damage and often higher crit stats. Levan gives higher fire rate, except for the Photor where it matches the Vidar, and usually drops its crit stats for the frankly useless status effects. Zetki also has higher fire rate identical to the Levan, but also has higher base damage than Levan, usually less than Vidar, with either greatly enhanced status or greatly enhanced crits. The downside to Zetki is it also comes with much higher heat gain, with the actual increase varying between weapon types. The result of all of this then is that Zetki is almost always the superior choice. Despite the higher heat gain, players with rank 8 or less gunnery can simply hold fire just before overheating. Soon enough you'll return back to cold and then you can resume firing. This is more efficient than dealing with the overheat even on Vidar weaponry. Once you get to rank 9 gunnery however, you unlock the ability to reset overheat back to cold in half a second by reloading, meaning it's more beneficial to overheat and reload than it is to try and avoid overheating, putting Zetki squarely at the top. Looking between the weapons, I've already mentioned that the lasers suffer in damage output. Accounting for heat gain and reloading for a rank 9 gunner, the Photor has less than half the DPS of the best damage turret option, with the Pulsar and Talon both around 60% using the general purpose Plexus, or about 54% with the gunner main build. The highest damage output instead comes from the Lathe, but this is held back by its short range. It sounds great to fire though. Instead, the next best damage is from the Vort. With both the general purpose and gunner main builds, the Vort stands out with the highest damage of the longer range projectile weapons, whilst retaining their usability. Putting all of this together then, the best weapon to go for is the Zetki Vort. If you want to absolutely max out the damage, you can go for the Zetki Lathe, but do not put this on the side guns. The best hit scan laser is the Zetki Talon, and honourable mention to the Zetki Photor simply for that innate punch through. All of this really is a long fancy way of saying that the new weapons have basically outdone the old ones. That's power creep for you. The good news is that everything is close enough that sticking to the old weapons will not do you too much harm. A max bonus Mark III Zetki will work on all setups. Except putting Lathe or Cryophon on the side guns, don't do that, that's just mean. So when it comes to farming these best weapons, you can pick up the Zetki Photor by killing elite Grineer units, found in Vale Proxima missions where the Sentients are attacking. As for the Zetki Vort, Zetki Talon, and Zetki Lathe, these can all be obtained by farming fighters on Pluto Proxima. The mission type itself doesn't matter, so you can just pick your favourite. The way to farm them is to continuously kill the fighters after you have cleared the priority targets, but before you board the Corpus ship for the main mission. And with that, you now have the best turrets that money can't buy, in fact. If you have found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe as well. And as always, scrap wreckage, mount turrets, and fight well, Tenno.